are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Hello, hi. So today we're doing another Colourpop review. Colourpop keeps coming out with all these collections and they keep sending them to me. And I know you guys seem to like them based on views. So we're gonna be reviewing the Colourpop Candy, well, it's Colourpop Land Candy collection. It's basically the Candyland collection. When I first saw this, I was very excited. First of all, they sent this, look at this huge, what? I'm gonna keep this and like store stuff in it. I have a bunch of like pictures and stuff, so I figure I can keep it as like a picture box because it's actually a really good quality box. They also sent with every PR box a literal board game that's the Colourpop, like Candyland basically, but it's like Colourpop's version of Candyland, which I think is adorable. So I have this huge box and I got all of the products and I'm really excited to just try them out today. I purposely didn't put on my blush yet because the collection came with 3 of their new like cheek shock things. Super Shock Cheeks. I have Gumdrop Pass, Gummy More, and Jolly, and I figured I'd use one of these. I actually haven't used the Colourpop like Super Shock blushes yet, so I'm pretty interested in how these perform. So before we do eyes, let's throw these on. I think I want to use the shade. I'm gonna be honest, the 3 of these do look relatively similar. One is a little bit more red, one's a little bit more orange, and one's a little bit more like mauvey purple. I think I'm gonna go in with the more orangey one. This is the shade Jolly. I just think this looks really cute. They have a really fun little like marble to them that I think is kind of fun. Kind of reminds me of, I have tried their highlighter formula before that's in this same like container. I've had a couple of these highlighters. It's got this like putty-like consistency. I wasn't sure how that would transfer to a blush, and I think that blushed everything up real nice. Definitely pigmented. I typically prefer blushes that are not super pigmented, but I mean, I feel like for the blushy trend that's happening right now, this is very cute. They smell amazing. They smell like candy. Well, that's fun. Let me think about this. I'll see how it kind of fades and wears. Let's jump into the palette. This is the Candy Castle palette. They did do a bit of a different palette design than they normally do with this one, where it's kind of like a longer palette. I'm excited about this. I will say, just as far as Colourpop goes in general, I do think releasing this palette so closely after releasing the Wild Nothing palette, they're just a little bit similar. I just like, they have the same vibe to them where it's like kind of pastel-y, kind of like whatever. Like obviously there's a few differences, but I think overall these are both relatively similar palettes. Frankly, I could have done without the Wild Nothing collection and just done the Candyland collection because I think this is a really cute concept. Like I think aesthetically this is super cute and adorable, but I just have to say, like, I think I could have done without both. And I also think it's to note, you know, some criticism that they've been getting, which I do agree with, is I'm gonna go in with King Candy. Just to talk quickly about some criticism that they have been getting and receiving, is, you know, they've been getting a lot of criticism for not being as inclusive, especially when it comes to their social media presence. There was a big campaign started by, I believe Neon MUA started it, that was called Colourpop Me Black, and it was basically just post Black creators, post, you know, Black beauty boys, post Black people on your social medias. And Colourpop did take a pretty long time to address that, and I think it's a kind of a weird choice to be putting out so many palettes right in a row, and I've seen a lot of other people talking about this, to be putting out so many palettes in a row that are just obviously not inclusive. Like this is very obviously for people with my skin color. This is obviously not going to be something that's very inclusive for people with deeper skin tones, and so I would think that you're getting that type of criticism online. Watch them take me off their PR list because I'm saying this. It's the truth though. Like you're gonna get all that criticism and, you know, claim that you're gonna try and strive for inclusivity. You've said yourselves you can turn a palette in 5 days. You can go from a thought to production in 5 days, yet you're not going to make things that are inclusive, you know? Just as a little off-putting as far as that goes. So that's just something to know. I wasn't sure, but now seeing the palette in person, it's just not going to be something that works super well for people with deeper skin tones. All right, I'm going to go in with Grandma Nut, the shade right here. I got some feedback on last week's Talktorial. I got like 3 comments like this, which was so weird. I got some feedback about people being upset that I wasn't actually doing a tutorial. Like they were mad that I was like talking about my life and not talking about like,
now I'm going to apply this into the outer corner and blend it.
And I don't know, I thought that was like it makes sense, but also in my defense, they're called Talktorials. And also in my defense, do you really want to look like me? When I first started doing these, I did call them Tutorial Tuesdays, and I did feel at the time, like, I don't know, I look back at some of those and I really do cringe, and I'm probably in a year gonna look back at like this video and cringe, because I do think with makeup, it's really a learning process that you only really learn how to do your makeup by doing it. So unfortunately for me, when I first started doing YouTube, I hadn't been doing it for that long, and I really was not that good at it. And I'm still definitely not the best. Like, I'm never gonna win any awards for like being a makeup artist on YouTube, but I do think I've improved pretty significantly. But I also just feel like for me to get on here and try to tell you guys how to do something is a little bit disingenuous, because I don't think I'm qualified. Also, I just think it would be boring if I came on and was like, oh, hello, now we're gonna blend Candy Crush. I will say a critique of this palette that I strongly dislike is like 5 of the shades, oh wow, I didn't realize it till it hit the light. 5 of the shades are a formula from Colourpop that I despise, which is matte shades that have glitter in them for some reason. A lot of these shades have that. I would say it's probably the reason they did this was probably because it's like Candyland themed and it's very whimsical themed, but in that sense I just don't like those shades in particular, because then you're like trying to deepen up your crease with like a matte brown, but it's not a matte brown. Surprise, it has glitter in it, and I just think that's annoying. I'm gonna go into Candy Crush right here. I actually think I'm not really liking this, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it blends fine, it has the standard Colourpop formula, but just because there's literally half of the palette is those shades, and I would never ever ever recommend those shades because I just think they're annoying to work with. Like, why is that not just a matte or just a shimmer? Like, just commit one way or the other, especially because the only shades that don't have glitter that are true mattes are very, very light, so it would be very hard to do any sort of like depth to a look with this collection as it is now. I think I want to throw some yellow in here too, just to play with that yellow and see how pigmented it is. This is a very pastel yellow, so I'm curious if it's gonna even pick up. It's the shade Cravings. It's this yellow right here. It definitely is more of a white with like a tinge of yellow. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty. Kind of provides, it's definitely more of a white though. This has glitter in it too. Are you freaking kidding me? This yellow also has glitter. Colourpop, why did you do that? Why did you make all of your matte shades glittery? I don't understand. I'm not vibing with this right now. I was actually really excited about this collection because I thought it was so cute. And I played Candyland as a kid like all the time. So I thought this was adorable, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of like, meh. I actually preferred, remember at the beginning I was like, oh, I would have taken this over Wild Nothing. I actually prefer the Wild Nothing collection now compared to this. Let's go in with Sugar High. It's this shade. Looks very metallic-y and pretty. It's not that Super Shock formula that they sometimes have in their palettes. Like in the Sweet Talk palette, I know they have one. The Mulan palette has one where they have these like really gorgeous Super Shock. This is definitely a little bit of a drier formula, but it's not bad. It's different. I prefer the Super Shock formula in their palette. How's everyone doing? How's everyone's week going? Mine's going. I started some home improvement projects. That was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake in the long run. Short-term me is miserable, but long-term me is gonna be very happy I'm doing this. Basically, we've been living in this house for a year. On September 1st. We've been living here for a whole year, and there's certain parts of the house we just have put off on painting because it was the walls needed so much work. There was so much spackling required, and we just like, once we were living here, we just put it off. But now I'm like, listen, I've been in my house for months and months and months, and I've been still not doing these projects despite having the time. So now I need to like really buckle down and just start doing it. So I went to like Lowe's and I bought all this paint and I bought all these supplies and like bought all this stuff. I'm debating if I want to do a pop on the lower lash line. I don't think I do. I think I just want to vibe with this cute little pink look. Maybe we could do a little bit of rainbow trail. The green might look kind of cool. Let's do it. Let's just do a pop. It's a good way to test out all the colors. Let's do the green rainbow trail. So our kitchen, we've made a lot of progress in a lot of areas of the house, but the kitchen is definitely the place that needs like the most work still. That kind of blended into nothing, I'm being honest. I hate that. You can't even really see it. just gonna go in with pinks. I don't care. I'm gonna go with King Candy on the lower left. Our kitchen still needed like a ton of work, and we've been doing work, but it's all been like electrical work, and we need to put up like a backsplash. But there's our window sills and our door frames were still this yellow color that they were when we moved into the house. They were this like, yeah, the paint has been on there for like 100 years. It's 100% lead paint. It's this like really just like weird yellow color. And we're trying now, because we finally finished a lot of the electric, we're trying now to pick a backsplash color. And something about the yellow of everything, it was like our windows, everything was just so throwing me off. So, and I knew we wanted to paint them white eventually, and I was like, you know what, screw it, we're just gonna paint it white today. So I like taped everything off and I did it, and I felt really good about that. It still looks pretty bad, and like, I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't look great. I'm not the most expert painter, and Charles had to work a lot of the days, so he couldn't really help me. He actually didn't help me at all. I did it all by myself because he was busy. I picked like days that I knew he was busy for some reason to embark on this journey. From far away, I think it looks great. Did I have to do 4 coats because the paint was so old it just absorbed everything? Yes. However, I think it looks good. And now we're moving on to our, I'm going into Candy Crush for the outer part of the lower. And now we're embarking on painting our stairwell and our hallway. These, I know you don't know what my house looks like, but these are 2 areas that are the absolute worst shape. The stairwell was like good, but when I was moving in, when we were moving in, a bed frame got stuck in the stairwell, and so now there's huge gouges that have just been taken out of the wall that I also had to plaster and fix. And so the stairwell is not going to be that bad. What's really going to be bad is our entryway and our hallway are so bad. It's bad because what happened was that is where our entry and our hallway is where the water damage was happening that nobody knew about. So for however long, we honestly have no idea. It could have been years, it could have been months. There was a ton of water damage because there was a hole in the roof. So when we first got in here to look at the house and what needed to be done, that was like the first thing we saw. And the big things that were hit were our bathroom and then the hallway, and in turn our little entryway into the side of our house. So the walls are all peeling. We did get the ceiling fixed by a professional, but the walls are all peeling. There's holes in the wall. Like, it's just a mess, and it's gonna take, I know it's not even gonna take a long time. It's just gonna be a lot of work to get it fixed. So I'm embarking on that mission now. I've made it my mission to make this work because I really would like to make it work. I would really like to, like, it just sucks because the rest of our house actually like turned out really beautiful. Like our dining room and living room, we're gonna do an updated house tour pretty soon, I'm pretty sure, because we want to show you guys all the progress we've made. Living room and dining room actually turned out so good. That's probably the best rooms that we were able to do. I feel like the painting turned out great. The walls look great. Like, I think we did a really good job in those rooms, and we did all of that ourselves. Pretty much everything painting wise and spackle wise we had to do ourselves. However, our kitchen did not turn out the best, but really it was such, we're probably gonna eventually have to, if we want to sell it or rent it, we're probably gonna have to pay people to like redo parts of the kitchen because like it was way above our level of understanding when we did it. And it's not that it looks horrible, like I don't mind living in it, but I don't know how other people are gonna like it. But it stinks because those are the 3, you walk through that little hallway that's like a mess, and our entryway, which is a mess, and our kitchen, you have to walk through the 3 like worst rooms to get to any other room in the house that we actually did a good job on. So I really want to work to make those look better, just so you actually get a good impression, you know, like first impression when you walk in. I want to be nice. I will say though, I was really debating hiring somebody to do the painting for just the spackling. The spackling is the worst. Because you just have to, especially with how big our holes are and the problems with the thing, you just have to keep going back over and over and over again. And I was like, I should hire somebody to do this. I was like, this is awful. But no, we're gonna do it ourselves because we can. I am strong, independent, I can do it myself. Really, the worst part about painting is just all the work you have to do beforehand so you don't ruin everything. Like, we have original hardwood floors, original like molding and stuff like that. That's all like original wood to the house that we really can't screw up. So it's really just about protecting those things, but it takes so long to do all of that. It's like the worst. Okay, I did want to play with this little thing. This is like a little puff. I have one of these from their butterfly collection, and this is now the Ice Queen. This is Queen Frostine, the little glitter. And I thought this could just be fun to use as a highlighter today. It does come with a little puff. These are very cute. I especially think if you like glitter, this is like adorable. I'm gonna use it as just a little highlight today. I'm hoping that'll work out okay. I'm gonna dip my brush in. Kind of reminds me of the like Fenty Beauty puffs, but much cheaper. if you still want that little effect, but don't want to pay for the Fenty Beauty Puff. Oh yeah, like that's cute. Oh, that's actually really pretty. The color is gorgeous. I was a little nervous. I actually love this aspect of it. This is probably the first thing I've tried from this collection that I would like really recommend. Oh, that's really cute. That's a fun highlight. I like that. This is probably my favorite thing I've tried so far. I really like that. I probably would use the puff like all over my chest if I was filming or something and had like a lower cut shirt. I think that would look really pretty too. This is fun. Okay, I like that. Another thing I wanted to try for you guys is the Colourpop. Everybody's so excited about this. Is the Roller Gloss, and this is in the shade Princess Lally. I will say the whole theming of this collection is very cute. I'm gonna use the Roller Gloss. I'm very excited. I've heard really good things about these, so. Okay, there we go. Oh, it smells good. Okay, now it's coming out. This reminds me of being in like elementary school. It smells like elementary school. Weirdly nostalgic. I mean, I don't really like that. I'm sorry, I'm being so negative in this review. Normally I really like Colourpop, but this collection's not hitting it for me. No, I don't like that at all. They also came out with these tinted lip balms. I'm gonna try these instead. This is just like oil. It doesn't even give any color or look like you have gloss on. It just is like, this is not great. Seems like different shades of pink. These are like candy cane. Let's try this pink one. I think this is a cute color. These are just tinted lip balms. I'm curious to see how these work because maybe it'll provide a little bit more color. I think if you wanted to put just like a sheen over a color, this wouldn't be that bad, but by itself, I don't like it. No, that didn't do anything either. Okay. Well, let's do a mandatory narcissistic montage, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on everything. So, final thoughts. I don't really like the palette, I'm not gonna lie. I think if you want this vibe and you want the Colourpop like pricing and formula, I would go with the Wild Nothing palette. I just don't think this is great. And that's really just because personally I hate the matte shadows with shimmer in them, and that's like 90% of what this palette is. So that's like a personal preference, but also I would just recommend not doing it. I also don't think the glitters are incredible. Yeah, they're just like this kind of stiffer glitter formula where I really prefer when they put the Super Shock glitter formula. I just think it's a little bit more shiny and reflective and like hyper pigmented. Like I think a white with the Super Shock would have like absolutely transformed this look. Whereas I feel like now it's just a little like meh. I also do feel like the yellow and the green really don't have any pigment to them when blended out. Yeah, so you're really just getting like the neutrals that are good. And while, I mean, this look is cute and pretty, I'm gonna wear it out, you know, if I left my house, I would wear it out. But I think, you know, I'm not a huge fan of the palette. I'm not a huge fan of the lip products either. I know people really love this roller thing, so like, go off if you like it. I'm not a huge fan of these. I feel like they were supposed to be tinted. They're absolutely not. They do have a nice texture to them, like a nice lip balmy texture, but I don't understand the point if they're not actually gonna have any pigment to them. The two things I did really like, I do like the blushes. I'm very excited about these. I want to use them more. I think the more bouncy type formula is actually pretty nice, and I love how the blush applies and looks. I think especially now that I have the eye look, it doesn't look as like intense. I think it has a really nice level of pigmentation to it, so I'm a fan of the blushes for sure. I think those are really cute. I don't think you need all three just because they are kind of similar in color. They're not like hype. I wouldn't say they're crazy different so much so that it's going to show a huge difference. So I don't think you need all three. I think you could just pick one or two that were like your favorite. And then finally, this was my favorite thing of the whole thing. I think the highlight is beautiful. It looks so pretty and transformative. It does have a little, it's definitely obviously a glitter. So it's a glittery highlight, but I think it looks gorgeous. And I think if I were to pat this all over my chest or even all over my face, if I really wanted to do like a glitter look, this would be perfect for that. So I'm actually shocked at how much I liked this. I'm a huge fan of how this made my cheeks look. I think this looks awesome. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, or just subscribe, or do neither. Honestly, just so happy you're watching me. Thank you so much for being here. My merch, my social media, and everything I just put on my face, including this whole collection, will be linked down below, along with a link to register to vote. That's right, you can click on that link, you can register to vote, and you to be part of your democracy. Is super fun thing to do. And along with that will of course be my little social justice spotlight. Just check out those links if you can, places to donate, petitions to sign, important things to make note of. And yeah, I love you guys so much and I will see you in the next one. Bye!